2 weeks ago, we saw the economy revised for 80 years with one swoop of the pen. Here to talk about those new way of calculating our economic growth is Peter Schiff. He's the CEO of Euro Pacific Capital. So we came in at 1.7%, and that was better than expected. But the new math, when they show the math, you don't like it. What don't you like about it, Peter?
Well, you know, there's an interesting phenomenon. Ever since 2008, when this Great Recession began, 2/3 of the preliminary estimates of GDP have been revised downward. 2/3 of them. And the size of the downward revisions has been 50% greater than the upward revisions. I don't think this is an accident. You know, from 2000 to 2008, we actually had 2/3 as many upward revisions as downward revisions, and the size of the revisions was about the same. So I think we've been getting overly optimistic assessments from the government that the media will highlight. And then months later, as they're downwardly revised, they don't talk about it. Like when they reported the 1.7% growth for the second quarter, nobody paid attention to another downward revision. The first quarter is now estimated to be only 1.1. It was originally reported at 2.5. And I think what's even worse about this 1.7 is the only way the government was able to calculate that was by assuming annualized inflation was just 0.7%. I don't believe that for 1 second. In fact, if inflation was 2.5% instead of 0.7, and I think it's higher than 2.5, but even if it was only 2.5%, the economy contracted in the second quarter, even with the government's overly optimistic assessment. So we'll see how much further they downwardly revise these GDP numbers, by the time it's all said and done.
Well, it's interesting. You know, when I was in grade school, they used to criticize the new math, but this is the new math, and they've done this time and time again, is revising how they calculate things. But I can understand how, when you're trying to get your head and your arms around an economy as diverse and huge as the U.S. economy, that you have to make,